Landon just has so much poise and so much grace. I don't know how she does it, because this is a heart-wrenching case, and I guess for the love of her little boy and to get justice for him, she is sitting there and she is taking it all in, and she's not showing anger or anything. She's just I guess poise is the best way, and grace is the best way I can describe that. And I saw Al in there too, and it appears he has a girlfriend or something that was sitting with him. And I also was kind of surprised that the defense, unlike the one over there at the Morphew trial, the defense isn't doing a whole lot of picking apart everything in there. But I can see where they're headed with this, though. I'll talk about that a little bit later too. But what I can say is that I got to see Letecia at the beginning when before they decided to close the overflow room. When I was in the overflow room, I was able to see the camera footage of Letecia in a holding cell over at the jail, and she was like waving her arms above her head and stuff and going backwards and forwards in front of the camera. She seemed sort of pulled together when the judge was asking her if she was sure she didn't want to appear here. And the prosecution, after Letecia was dismissed, were trying to say that they wanted to not have this hearing and just set a trial. But the defense attorneys cited some previous cases where the defendant is a disruptive person and the trial goes on without the defendant in the courtroom. And I think that's what the judge is taking into consideration too, is that perhaps the courtroom is not a good place for Letecia to be. She might disrupt things. So that's why she's not in the courtroom. It's really stuffy in the courtroom, but Landen looks beautiful. She's got her hair is flowing and perfect. She's wearing a really nice, mostly blue print dress, and she's got several supporters around her. And when we all went to get on the elevator, they were talking, making plans of how to get her past reporters and stuff, because today's testimony is just, it was really bad. It turns out that how we all have been conjecturing that the reason why they had a blunt instrument and a I forget how they worded it, but knife type instrument and a gun, and we thought that they were just listing all of those because they were just trying to cover all their bases. But it's wrong. We got to hear the autopsy results, and it seems Gannon put up a fight, and he had defensive wounds to his hands and his arms, and he had 18 cutting instrument wounds. 2 of them were really deep to the chest and to the back. Most of the rest of the injuries were greater than superficial, but not fatal injuries to his hands and his arms. And that's from the sharp instrument. He also had a skull fracture, and he was shot in the jaw, and the projectile stayed in his head. He had been in a suitcase. He was in there with 2 blankets and a pillow. And the pillow also had 2 projectiles inside of it and 2 holes, because it was not a through and through bullet for the pillow or for Gannon's head. And they said that what they couldn't figure out was whether the gunshot was pre or post-mortem, and same with the skull fracture, but that either one of those could have been fatal. And they listed the cutting injuries as being like on top of everything else type injuries, contributing factors. And yeah, we also got to see body cam footage of when they were first searching the home on the day that Letecia had reported that Gannon had run away. And the body cam footage did show the inside of the Tiguan, however you say that car, and there wasn't any sign of any suitcase or anything like that in there. And on that night, there was no obvious signs of any kind of fatal struggle in the house. And we got to see the body cam footage of Gannon's bedroom, and the officer got down on his hands and knees and looked under the bed for Gannon, and we didn't see anything suspicious there either. And then we spent the rest of the time concentrating on the vehicle movements and the area out on the 105 at the S curves, and where that piece of wood was found, the board, which is particle board, and it's about 2 feet by 2.5 feet, and had Gannon's blood on it. And that's pretty much all I've got at the moment, because I just need to process. I'll do more in a little bit.